Vader stood at the foot of the shuttle's boarding ramp, gazing at the white spires of the royal palace. Commander Appo and 6 of his stormtroopers spread out to flank him, as Bail Organa and several others emerged from the ornate building. For a moment, neither group moved. Then Organa's contingent walked onto the landing platform and approached the shuttle. "You are Lord Vader?" Organa asked.
"Senator,"
Vader said, inclining his head slightly. "I demand to know why you've come to Alderaan."
"Senator, you are in no position to demand anything."
Organa introduced him to his aides and advisors, as well as to Captain Antilles, who commanded Alderaan's Corellian-made consular ship, and who tried, but failed, to conceal an expression of profound hostility toward Vader. If Antilles only knew who he was dealing with. From beyond the palace's walls came the sound of angry voices and chanting. Vader surmised that at least some of the turbulence owed to the presence of an Imperial shuttle on Alderaan. The thought entertained him. Vader listened to the sounds of the crowd for a moment more, then turned to regard Organa.
"Why do you permit this?"
Organa's restless eyes searched for something, perhaps a peek at the man behind the mask. "Are such demonstrations no longer permitted on Coruscant?"
Harmony is the ideal of the New Order, Senator, not dissension.
When harmony becomes the standard for all, then protests will cease. What's more, by allowing voices to be heard here, Alderaan saves Coruscant any unmerited embarrassment.
There may be some truth to that, but in due time, protests will cease, one way or another.
Vader recognized that Organa was in a quandary about something. Clearly, he resented being challenged on his own world, but his tone of voice was almost conversational. "I trust that the Emperor knows better than to end them by fear," he was saying.
The Emperor would not be pleased by your lack of faith, Senator,
he said carefully.
Or by your willingness to allow others to display their distrust. But I haven't come to discuss your little march.
Organa fingered his short beard. "What does bring you here?"
Former Senator Fang Zar.
Organa seemed genuinely surprised. "What of him?"
That you don't deny that he's here.
"Of course not. He has been a guest of the palace for several weeks."
Are you aware that he fled Coruscant?
Organa frowned in uncertainty. "It sounds as if you're suggesting that he wasn't permitted to leave of his own free will. Was he under arrest?"
Not arrest, Senator. Internal security had questions for him, some of which were left unanswered. ISB requested that he remain in Imperial Center until matters were resolved.
Organa shook his head once. "I knew nothing of this."
No one is questioning your decision to house him, Senator.
Vader said, gazing down at him.
I simply want your assurance that you won't interfere with my escorting him back to Coruscant.
Back to? Organa left the rest of it unfinished and began again. "I won't interfere. Except in one instance." Vader waited. "If Senator Zar requests diplomatic immunity, Alderaan will grant it." Vader folded his arms across his chest.
I'm not certain that privilege still exists. Even if it does, you may find that refusing the Emperor's request is hardly in your best interest.
A nearby holoprojector chimed, and from it emerged the holo image of a dark-haired woman with an infant in her arms.
"Bail, I'm sorry I've been delayed,"
the woman said.
"I just wanted to let you know that I'll be there shortly."
Organa looked from Vader to the holo image and back again. As the image faded, he said, "Perhaps it's better if you spoke with Senator Zar in person." He gulped and found his voice. "I'll have him escorted to the conference room as soon as possible." Vader turned and waved a signal to Commander Appo, who nodded.
Who is the woman?
Vader asked Organa. "My wife," Organa said nervously. "The Queen." Vader regarded Organa, trying to read him more clearly.
Inform Senator Zar that I'm waiting. In the meantime, I would enjoy meeting the Queen.